Hey everybody, Greg Pruitt here with Idaho Dispatch, and I am joined today by Chris Trakel, who is one of 5 mayoral candidates here in the city of Caldwell, and we are at the Veterans
Caldwell
Memorial
Veterans
Hall, right?
Memorial Hall, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, awesome, and thank you for taking time to sit down with us.
Well, thanks for taking the time to interview me.
Yeah,
So,
no problem. No problem. Well, Caldwell is going to have its first mayor in, I think, 20 years, and so it's kind of a big deal. And we wanted to try and reach out to all the candidates, and you are one of those candidates. So I guess before we get into maybe some of the policy issues, can you give what's your background and why mayor? Why did you all of a sudden go, you know what, I'm going to try to be the next mayor of Caldwell?
certainly. So, born and raised here in Idaho, grew up in Napa, graduated from Meridian High School, joined the Marine Corps shortly after, retired in 2016. My wife is also from Idaho, so she said, we're coming back to Idaho as soon as I retire, so we did. Caldwell in the past 10 years has or 10 years ago, you looked at Caldwell as like a ghost town. Well, longer than that, but it was a ghost town. So when we came home, it was like night and day difference. So we ended up buying a house here in Caldwell. Moved to Caldwell about 2018. I got involved with my local politics, property taxes going up. So in 2019, I ran for city council, and I lost that race. But from there, I became the Republican precinct committeeman for 9-10 for my area, and I've been involved with politics ever since. And the reason why I'm going for mayor now is the government closest to the people is the most influential to the people. So, in a state position would be great, but the wheels turn much slower there. And for instance, property tax relief, as mayor, I can influence that directly within the year. Unlike in the state legislation where you have to get half of the state representatives or senators to agree with you, and it's got to go through the whole process. So that's why I'm running for mayor. Is people are screaming for help on a myriad of issues, and as mayor, working with city council, we can make that happen. At least in Caldwell, a lot faster than they can in the state.
Okay. So, was there anything in particular that, Mayor Nancolis did that you thought, hey, I'm going to run for mayor? I mean, had you decided to run against him, or was it, after he said, hey, I'm done, I'm out, and then you kind of threw I mean, so what, I guess, triggered you to go into wanting to run for mayor this time instead of city council again, or something like that? So.
Yeah, so I think what Mayor Nancolis has done for Caldwell is he's almost pulled off the impossible. So he did a great job. No, I had no intention of running against Mayor Nancolis. So when he said he was retiring, I was approached by several individuals that asked me to run for mayor. And so I obliged, running for mayor, like I said, so I can help the people directly. And hopefully, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. But it'd be great to have a shot at that, try to fill those shoes, um, because it's better than coming off of a mayor that did a horrible job and have little shoes to fill. So, but yeah, no, Mayor Nancolis did a great job, and I would like to continue pushing what he's done for Caldwell into the future and make sure it continues to happen. So,
Okay. So, what are some of the things that you think that he's done that you would like to continue? And then let's talk about maybe some of the things that you would do differently than maybe what he's done, or what's your vision for Caldwell and some of the things you would like to implement.
okay. I've said it several times. I think the greatest thing he's done is turn Caldwell around. Him and the city council and all the hard work and all the other agencies and those involved in turning Caldwell around. Indian Creek Plaza is amazing. So I want to continue that, continue to see Caldwell prosper. What I would do differently is, you don't use the same tool for every single job that you have. And so, for example, urban renewal was the big catalyst that saved Caldwell. But I do think it is time to let urban renewal sunset, not open up a new urban renewal district. So that's what I would be different. Is I would like to see the city continue on in uh, a new, much slower pace of growth to where the residents can keep up with it. So sustainable growth is what I call it. That way the property taxes aren't getting out of control from people. A lot of people now are saying, my property taxes are going too up, or I can't afford to go downtown because of certain reasons. And I think the big catalyst to this is we're forcing growth in Caldwell, and at a time that was great, but we don't need to do that anymore. So that's what I would be doing differently.
Okay. And how, and maybe, there's not much you can do as mayor necessarily with this, but, so full disclosure to everybody, I used to live in Caldwell up until April, over by the YMCA. And, over the last 10 years, the traffic has just, across the entire valley, not just Caldwell, has exploded, to where I get to Karcher Road and it's backed up all the way down by Indiana. And I'm thinking, what is happening here? Like, is there a wreck? Is there construction? No, it's just more houses and more people, and and it's just really, really busy. So I know just from personal experience that the traffic has been a major complaint by residents. Almost anywhere you drive on the side streets, it's just busier and busier and busier, and it's going to keep getting busier. How do you think you might be able to impact maybe the traffic issue as a mayor?
So this is another thing I've been asked about, and this also goes into sustainable growth. Is we are growing. If we continue to force growth, it's only going to worsen the problem because our city's infrastructure is not prepared for major influx like that. So if we slow it down, that gives us time to work with city planners, city council, myself, sit down with the city planners and other outside agencies and talk about what roads we need to widen, if it's possible. Do we need to possibly look at new access main roads and stuff like that? Give the city some more breathing time before we explode, because like you said, you don't even see an accident or anything like that, but it also affects more than the traffic. It affects law enforcement. Can they keep up with the growth of the city? Crime's going to go up when more people come in, and if our law enforcement can't handle it because the city's growing too fast, then that becomes a major issue. Fire department's another one. Parks and recreation is one. I mean, throughout the entire city, eventually trash gets to be a problem. Parks can't be taken care of. Streets are more difficult to keep clean besides being clear. So yeah, sustainable growth is one thing that we can look at and give the city some breathing room.
Okay. So you're talking about, forced growth. I guess for people that don't quite understand what you're talking about, can you explain what you mean by forced growth, and what in particular needs to slow down, in your opinion, for the city of Caldwell to allow that growth to grow and not be overburdensome?
Yeah, no problem. So forced growth, when I refer to forced growth, I'm saying it's when a city or an area is actively after new business and manufacturers to build homes. So they're actively going out there giving incentives. Hey, businesses, come here, move in here, grow our city. Hey, let's build new homes. Reach out to the home manufacturers and let's do that. Start rezoning and everything. So they're pushing it to make it happen. And so that's what I call is forced growth. So it needs to be managed just for the reasons I just said. But so sustainable growth is where it would happen naturally. For instance, we wouldn't have the urban renewal area, and a business would come because it fits their needs at the time. Property taxes are lower here, or whatever reason it is, but the business chooses to come here, and so that way, a little bit slower. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Well, so how do you address that if right now the city of Boise, for instance, I mean the whole Treasure Valley has exploded. Each city within the Treasure Valley has exploded, and as the housing in Boise is way worse than it is in Caldwell, but it's still really high in Caldwell. That means more and more people are looking out to Caldwell and Nampa and pretty soon like Parma and Middleton. They're so it's almost like, hey, we have to come to your city to build. We have to come to your city to open up businesses. Is that going to interfere with your plan to try to slow it down, or do you just say, hey, keep moving? We just don't have room right now. If those businesses are coming to you guys to try and expand.
No, yeah. So if the businesses are coming, we want them here. You never you can't stop growth, first of all. You can just manage it. So those businesses know it would be detrimental to the economy of the city if a business came in and said, oh, well, there's no room, and we're sorry, guys, you got to go. And they went over to like Middleton or something. I mean, that'd be great for Middleton, but bad for Caldwell. We want the economy here. We want the jobs. We want to be able to give people more opportunity. So with that, we have to manage, and that's why we need to slow it down. Well, not more manage it now, but allow it to be a natural growth. So that way we can look at, so when these businesses come and they're prepared, we already know where they can go because we've had a chance to plan it out. We've looked at, I know there's the 2040 plan, but we need to look even closer than that. It's great that we're looking out 20 years from now, but we also need to look out a year from now, 5 years from now. And every, almost probably every quarter of the year, look at, hey, where is a new business who's coming in? Where's it going to go? What do we have available? What can we make available? So that way we're not missing any opportunities when they do come. Because if we miss opportunities, then the word gets out that, hey, there's no room in Caldwell, and businesses don't even bother looking at Caldwell even when we do have room. And then, you have a negative growth situation, and that's really bad. So.
Okay. So outside of the growth issue, which is obviously a big issue, but what are some other things that you'd like to do to help Caldwell or to transform some things? Anything within city government that you're wanting to change or?
Yeah. So with Caldwell, the city itself, what I would like to see is Indian Creek Plaza is amazing. It's becoming one of the hot spots. Because of that, Caldwell's becoming one of the hot spots in the Treasure Valley. I remember reading that we get roughly 300,000 visitors to Indian Creek, especially in the wintertime when the skating rink is down there and the City of Lights is going. But what I would like to see is take that success and expand it throughout downtown Caldwell. So instead of, for example, you go to Boise, you don't mind walking around Boise. You kind of have to, it's huge, but you don't mind walking around Boise because there's a lot to do, there's a lot to see. It's really, really, really nice. Well, 90% of Caldwell isn't there yet. It's still, when you come downtown, you're going to Indian Creek Plaza or you're going to another specific store or something like that. You're not planning on spending half the day down there shopping, walking around and looking at stuff.
Okay.
So I would like to see that expand throughout the city to where those businesses that aren't centrally located at Indian Creek Plaza get to benefit from that as well. So people do want to walk around and shop and see what else is out there that they may not be aware of or something like that. So.
Okay. All right. Let's, I guess, shift gears here a little bit. What do you say to people who, hey, Chris, we really like you. We like your ideas, but you know what? We'd like to see you as a city council member first. Don't go for the top spot. You need to go for, city council. There's some other candidates who are current city council members. You should do that first and then try to be mayor later on. What's your response to that?
No. Yeah, very understandable. And I understand where they're coming from. And what I would say to those people is my military experience is what I'm bringing. You always hear about how veterans are great leaders or something like that, and there's a reason for that. So, yeah, I'm shooting up, but I have a lot of experience as a company gunnery sergeant, as a company first sergeant, running like a budget well in excess of $100 million and stuff like that. So, city council, we have a lot of great people running for city council right now. This year, the election is very, very full. I think every city council position has at least 4 positions going for it. Mayor's got 5. So a lot of those races are already pretty contested. But I feel as the mayor, with my military background, with my military experience, it's time to bring that to the city. And I think I can help out a lot better than the candidates. I filed pretty late to see who was running, and I believe I will do a much better job than those candidates that already filed ahead of time and that are running. So that's why I'm going for that.
So maybe you kind of answered this, I guess, or maybe that was your answer, but my next question was, what sets you apart from the other candidates and why you should be the top spot or the best candidate out of the 5?
No problem. So like I would say, I would fall back to my military career. Definitely sets me apart from everyone else. The problem is 2 of the candidates that are already running sit on city council currently. So we've already seen their positions and voting records is the way that they're going to take. They both promised low taxes, but however, both of them just voted to raise our city's budget and property taxes the property tax going up by almost 7% this year, and both of them agreed to that. So I always hate the term politicians. They're always lying. If they're not lying, they're not a politician. So But that's a scary situation right there. So yeah, I hold integrity pretty high. So if I say something, that's my goal. I'm going to do it. If I say I want to lower taxes, for example, I want to actually lower taxes. I'm never going to push for something that's going to raise taxes. Um, and then my experience, a lot of times what we have is when you get a lot of the same people, and Mayor Nancolis has been here for what, about 24 years, um, you get in a rut and you do things the exact same way. And two of the candidates have worked with him directly, and I believe will continue that rut. However, I'm coming at it from a different perspective, fresh set of eyes, so I will look at things differently. And I've talked to local people and been around a lot more because I am one, and I don't have those already. What would you call it? Pre alliances built, for instance, with like special interest groups or special lobby groups or something like that. So my devotion is 100% to the city. I'm not worried about some corporation or special interest group making sure that I'm filling their need before the people's need. So.
Okay. All right. Well, in closing, we always have candidates can look directly at the camera, give your pitch to the citizens of Caldwell. You can plug your website or social media, whatever you want to plug,
Okay.
and we'll be done.
Well, I'm Chris Trakel, as you know, running for Caldwell mayor, and I would say, I'm for lower taxes, sustainable growth, and accountability. And with that accountability means reaching out directly to the citizens, town hall meetings with city council and the mayor to reach out directly to me. You can send your questions to me to trakelforidaho@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook. My page is Chris Trakel for the people of Idaho. And send me a Facebook message, post a comment on my page or something like that. I answer everybody. I try to get to everybody as fast as I can. So, and November 2nd, go out and vote for Chris Trakel. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.